Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Brian from Third Coast Ministries. I've been enjoying my vacation so far. I'm in the States right now visiting family and friends, but I got to put a pause on that because right now,
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Yo, Brian.
What's up? Tell them where you from.
Straight out of Matagapa.
all right, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. As I mentioned before, currently on vacation. Right now I'm staying at my mom's, but I wanted to take a break on that and talk about something. Hey, come on, hey, Rhymes, up. Oh, look at the camera, buddy. All right, get down. Hey, get down. All right, sorry about that. That's my boy Rhymes. I've had him since about the day he was born. My mom's been watching him the last couple of years while they've been in Nicaragua. He gets along really well with her dog. They basically just pal around. So that's that's my boy Rhymes, if y'all didn't know. And all right, so as I was saying, on vacation, and last night we were running errands. She's like, "Hey, we should go check out this church." So this morning we went to a church down the street, and it was a good service. But while I was in there, something kind of stuck with me that I heard, and I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's a good point, and I think we need to elaborate more on this point. In the service this morning, they were preaching on Acts 26. And for those of you that don't know, that is where Paul is talking to King Agrippa, and he's telling his story. This is how it was, this happened, and now this is how I am. So he's telling his story. And that's not really the main talking point. It was just used to convey a message. And at the end of the message, the guy that was preaching talked about how, his mother says she was always praying for him. The church that he went to as a kid was always praying for him. And this is the point that I want to talk about. So it's pretty significant. And the point is, we talk about we need to pray for people. And we do need to pray for people. And I think what happens is everyone always says, hey, we need to pray for these people. But no one ever really teaches like how we're supposed to pray and why are we praying. It's like, oh, we need to pray for these people. And that's a very important point. And the point of the service this morning, he was talking about praying for, his mom, and everyone was praying for him to be saved and to be born again. So before we can do that, we need to always look back to the word. So what does the word say about this? And in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23, it says, having been born again, not of corruptible seed, but incorruptible, through the word of God, which lives and abides forever. So once again, that is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23. So with that, so what do we need to be praying for? People, oh, we need to pray for these people to be saved. That's great. But what does that mean? It says that you're saved through the incorruptible seed, the word of God. And to go off on a side note, if you haven't heard of it or read it, I highly recommend reading Andrew Womack's The Believer's Authority. It goes into a lot of detail on this. So I'm just going to break it down really, really short and simple to go along with this real quick. All right. So in The Believer's Authority, Andrew Womack talks about, God has given us the power and the authority. That was in Genesis, and you can go read through that. You should. And the main point is, a lot of times we're praying like, oh, God, save these people, save this person, save my friend, save my brother, sister, and so on and so on. But the Bible talks about that people are saved through the incorruptible seed, the word of God. So when we're praying like, God, you need to do this, please save this person, we're failing to realize that God has already given us the power and the authority through Jesus to do this. So we're basically asking him, God, to do something that he's told us to do. And that's why a lot of times I think people get frustrated because their prayers don't seem to be answered, but I really don't think that we're praying in the correct manner. So what we need to be doing is We need to be praying that somebody hears the word of God, the incorruptible seed. And an example of this is, if you've checked out my avocado videos, it's my little hobby. I love growing avocados and stuff from seeds, and hopefully in a few years we'll have some fruit. But if you think about it this way, prayer is like water. If I have a little cup and I just keep putting water in it, nothing's gonna grow. There's nothing to grow. You know, it's impossible. I can't pour water into a container and expect it to grow. So what I have to do is I have to put the seed, the avocado seed, in the container. That's the word of God. You have to put the word of God in people. And then you pray, and with that water in the seed, then it will grow. So it's good. We need to be praying for people, but we need to make a point to be praying more correctly, I guess, if you want to say it. We need to pray that people hear the word of God, that somebody will come in and say something, that they'll hear it somehow, the radio, TV, somehow that the word of God gets in them. And then the prayers that we have will help that seed to grow and flourish. All right, there you go. That's the main point. If we're going to be praying and we're praying for people to be saved, we need to remember that people are only saved through the incorruptible seed, the word of God. So make sure you're praying that that word gets across to somebody. And it's more than just praying. A lot of people want to just sit in their closets, in their prayer closets, and that's good. But talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. Don't be afraid to share the word, because the only way that people get saved is the word. So don't keep that from them. Share that with people and realize that that's the only way, the incorruptible seed, the word of God. So thanks for tuning in. My recommendations, make sure you're reading your Bible. If you get a chance, check out that book I mentioned, The Believer's Authority by Andrew Womack. There's another good book you should check out called God Is Not Mad at You. It's by my friend David Jones. And those will really help you out. It'll really open up things for you. So don't be afraid to share the word. You know, all the disciples prayed that they may share the word boldly. And sharing the word boldly puts it in people's hearts. And that's how people are saved and born again. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you are having a happy holidays. And I hope you close out 2019 in a good manner. So thank you for watching. Adios.